What's going on, everybody? My name is Blaze, and today I thought I'd talk about, E3 2018. I don't know if you guys watched it. I was actually home. I was watching the whole thing. Took some time off of work and decided I'd watch it live on Twitch and with my viewers and everything like that. So, had a pretty fun time doing that. And today I wanted to talk about Nintendo's presentation. I know a lot of people, it seems like it's kind of hit or miss with a lot of people. But I want to talk about the pros and the cons and the things that they got right, things they could have done better, and things I was disappointed in and things that I think went well. So let's start off with the games. I think the biggest thing about E3 is that this is a really good time for developers to show off new games that they want to put out there. Nintendo's no exception. However, I think one of the biggest cons to their show is that they really didn't announce anything new. I know that we got a couple of things, but the new game announcements that we got were not super surprising, and I think the leaks that we got actually took some of that surprise away as well. So I think there's a couple of misses there with the new games that were announced, but only because I think we knew they were coming. So I'm going to go down the list of games that were announced in order of appearance on the Nintendo Direct. So we have Daemon X Machina, which is like a mech type game, almost reminiscent of like Gundam or Xenogears or something like that. It looks pretty cool if you like action-based games like that. It's very dark. The first parts of the video were very dark, but they did show some brighter scenery as well. They showed Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which honestly looks gorgeous, but they showed that in back in March. Pokemon Let's Go, Pikachu and Eevee. They showed off, I think they revealed for the first time the Pokeball Plus controller, which they may not have revealed that during E3, but they did show it off a little bit more and talked about how Mew will be included in the Pokeball Plus, coming out November 16th. Now, I will say that it was kind of a bummer because I feel like with just having Mew on there, it's almost like saying, hey, give us $40 and you can have Mew. And I think that I'm not going to use the Pokeball Plus to play the game, but I was a little bummed out by the price tag of the Pokeball Plus. And I was a little bummed out by the fact that it feels like they're asking for $40 just to play it, just to have Mew in your game. But they did show off Super Mario Party, which is something I've not seen before. I think it's a brand new reveal. They showed off some of the new mini games and things, which I think are going to be kind of cool if you're linking up two Switch systems together. That will be interesting. I'm kind of wondering how that's going to work, but it looks pretty cool, and I think it's meant to be played like at a in a room with four people, but not on the TV. Although I think most people will probably play it on the TV. They showed off Fire Emblem Three Houses, which I think is also a new title. Another one that I'm not too excited with because I didn't really play any of the other Fire Emblem games. Fortnite after that was shown off, and I think that the leaks from Fortnite really kind of gave that away. Like, we knew Fortnite was coming. Nintendo and Epic Games was not willing to admit it, but we knew that Fortnite was coming. Then they showed off 3 indie games: Overcooked 2, Killer Queen Black, and Hollow Knight. And I think those are all new. Overcooked 2 I may have seen before, but the other two, Killer Queen Black and Hollow Knight, I had not seen. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump on a limb and say that those are probably newer games that were revealed. But that might be all the ones that were new that I know of anyway. Then they moved on to Octopath Travel and showed off like a brief trailer of that, but nothing we hadn't seen before. They talked about the Star Fox, or they showed off the Star Fox support in the game Starlink from Ubisoft, which I think is kind of a brilliant move by the developers of Starlink, because without Star Fox support, without Star Fox in that game, it probably wouldn't do very well. So that was super smart on their behalf. Arena of Valor, which looks like a MOBA game, kind of like League of Legends. Then they showed off, and that was a very brief trailer. Then they showed off Minecraft, Sushi Striker. They showed off another brief trailer for Mario and Rabbids for Donkey Kong DLC. They also showed off. There's like 2 pages of games here. If I just go down the list, but Just Dance 2019, very briefly. Dragon Ball Fighter Z came up. Dragon Ball Fighters, whatever you call it. That came up as well, which that was a newer game that I didn't know was coming out, but we had suspected based on leaks and rumors. Briefly touched on the Splatoon 2 Octo expansion, which is out now, actually, which that was the surprise reveal after the Splatoon tournament, which is kind of cool. Captain Toad, they showed off that a little bit. Crash Insane Trilogy, Ninjala. I can't pronounce this one. I have no idea if I'm saying this right, but Carcassonne, Carcassonne. I don't know. Carcassonne. No idea what that game's about. Couldn't pronounce it. FIFA 18 and 19, which is surprising that they're doing both games. It seems like they'd want to only do FIFA 19, but they did. They showed FIFA 18 first, and then they kind of transitioned over to 19. Maybe it was a mistake. I don't know. But FIFA 19 is coming out for sure. FIFA 18 most likely as well. So we'll see. Ark is coming out. Wasteland 2. Paladins is another one that we'd heard about through leaks. I think maybe Wasteland 2 is something we hadn't heard about yet. Fallout Shelter is more of a strategy game. I think you could download it on the eShop now. Dark Souls, we know that's coming. SNK Heroines, I think is honestly I want to know more about that game, but I haven't heard much about it. Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate looks neat, looks very interesting. Wolfenstein 2, The World Ends with You Final Remix, Mega Man 11, Mario Tennis Aces. So those were all the games that they really showed off before getting to the meat of the whole thing, which was Smash Brothers Ultimate. So I'll talk a little bit about Smash Brothers a little later on, but I think that the reason people are mostly disappointed is, and I know that a lot of people I follow on Twitter and a lot of people I follow on Tumblr and everywhere else are Animal Crossing fans, and I myself am a huge Animal Crossing fan. I wanted Animal Crossing to be at E3, but the closer it got to E3, the more I said to myself, I don't think it's happening. I don't think it's happening. And the main reason I thought that was because Nintendo never really uses E3 like the other developers use E3. Nintendo has been, consistently releasing Nintendo Directs throughout the year. So we had one earlier this year, I think back in March, maybe it was May, where most of those games were revealed. So we got to see all of that stuff. So when it came time for E3, Nintendo didn't really need to reveal anything. They really just needed to show off the games that they'd already revealed. A couple of surprises would have been great. I would have loved to hear about Animal Crossing. I thought we'd see Metroid. I thought we'd see a couple other games too, but we didn't, and that was a little bit of a bummer to know that we only saw games that were already revealed. So I think the good news to all of that is that we know we're going to get another Nintendo Direct. We know there's going to be at least one more by the end of the year. Potentially 2 more Nintendo Directs by the end of the year. So if you're an Animal Crossing fan or a Metroid fan or a whatever fan, we might see those games again, which would be great. Another one I'm kind of curious about was the Yoshi game. They didn't show that or mention it at all, which I forgot about it because I think they're trying to sweep that game under the rug, even though it's probably finished. They don't. I don't think there's any buzz for it, so I think that it's probably the right move. But so that's basically what they talked about, and I think that the one thing that Nintendo really needed to do for E3, they did. And whether or not you're a Smash Brothers fan, the bottom line is that Smash Brothers will most likely sell a ton of Switch consoles. So even if you're not a Smash Brothers fan, Nintendo needed to come out and talk about Smash because they needed that buzz to be out there. So I know that the Nintendo had announced, earlier in the year that they were going to have a strong holiday lineup in order to sell more Switch consoles. And we really didn't see a strong lineup, but Smash will probably do it for them. And that's kind of sad, but it's also, I'm a Smash fan, so I'm excited for it. But the truth is that I know that there are a lot of people who really wanted an Animal Crossing or, a Luigi's Mansion or, whatever else, but they just didn't deliver on those. But the good news is, like I said, there's still time for those games to be announced. So Nintendo doesn't treat E3 like everybody else. Sony and Microsoft, they don't do things like Nintendo Directs, so they kind of have to have E3 be their big reveal platform. Nintendo takes a different approach, so there's still time. So don't worry if you're an Animal Crossing fan. Don't worry if you are, um, a fan of any other series that Nintendo works on. There's still time. But the bottom line, Nintendo did what they had to do. They talked about Smash. If you're a Smash fan like I am, I'll briefly go over some of the new additions to the game. We know that there's going to be air dodging, directional air dodging, diminishing returns on rolls. So the more that you roll, the easier it is for your opponent to punish you. There's going to be two new characters, Ridley, which was the huge reveal. Everybody wanted Ridley to come back, and the Inkling from Splatoon. We knew that was going to happen, just based on the reveal trailer. But we've got a Smash that now includes every single character from every Smash game ever. That's exactly what I wanted. It's exactly what I was hoping that they would do. And the thing that I thought would never happen because of Konami, because of Nintendo, and because of Kojima leaving was Solid Snake returning. And Nintendo went after they got the licensing back. Solid Snake's back in the game along with every other character that's ever been in Smash before. And there's probably going to be some new ones, and there's probably going to be some new characters they don't even talk about to kind of give you a surprise at the end of the game, which I, for one, love that. I don't want every character unlocked right away, and I don't want every character revealed before the game comes out. So I'm guessing there's going to be some surprises. I don't know, but I'm guessing that there will be, and that's going to be exciting. Otherwise, they just have everybody unlocked from the beginning. Visually, the game looks a lot like the 3DS version mixed with the Wii U version, and Sakurai even says that he's treating this as a brand new Smash game built from the ground up. So it's not a port, it is a brand new Smash game. And honestly, the game looks amazing. I really can't wait to play it and get my hands on it. December is the release date, so it's only a few months away. It's only about 6 months away from now. So that'll be out before you can, blink your eyes. So that was basically everything Nintendo talked about. They did the Smash Invitational tournament, which was very exciting and I was on the edge of my seat towards the end of that tournament. The Splatoon 2 tournament was kind of the same, where anything could have happened, and the winners from Japan went to move on. And then they revealed some more content and dropped the Octo expansion the next day, which was yesterday. So, I think the biggest disappointment was that, yes, Nintendo did not announce new games. And that's very unfortunate, because I really think that they could have used this as an opportunity to talk about a game that they have not talked about yet. So Animal Crossing would have been a great stepping stone for that, a great platform to reveal Animal Crossing, or to say that they have the exclusive rights to Borderlands or something. That would have been cool, to surprise everybody with something that we didn't even know they were working on, but they didn't. So we'll put that in the cons column. We'll put that in the column where, hey, this wasn't quite what we had in mind. It was a little disappointing if you're not a fan of Smash Brothers, if you're not a fan of Mario Tennis, if you're not a fan of Splatoon 2, and you're really waiting for a game that falls into your wheelhouse, I guess you could say. I think that the majority of Animal Crossing fans, play games like that, or they play games that are more, I guess, not like Smash. They're not like action-packed games, and that's not always true. I love Animal Crossing, but I also play a wide variety of other games too. And I get that there are definitely some gamers out there who saw this direct and they just didn't see anything they liked. They saw the direct, it came on, and the Switch that they bought, the Nintendo Switch they paid money for, has no games on it. And that's actually unfortunate, because there are some great games out there, and there are some games on the eShop. I encourage people who didn't get Animal Crossing or did not see anything on the direct that they really liked to maybe branch out and try a different game here and there. That's tough to do, and I get that, because the games are $60 each. But there may be some sales or something going on that you didn't know about that might sway you one way or another. And I can't guarantee that you're gonna love every game that you play, uh, but there's still some great games out there. Despite not having the exact game that you wanted. So let's talk about other cons. I think that they didn't wow us. I think even the games that they did show off that were new, they didn't really spend a lot of time on. And most of the trailers that came on were quickly rushed off of the direct. So games like SNK Heroines, I wanted to see more about that, but it came up and then it was gone, and it was already footage that we've already seen. So I think that Nintendo, the one thing that they did, they probably should have done better is elaborate on some of the games that people were interested in. Maybe gauge some feedback and say, hey, what games have we talked about this year that you'd like to know more about, so they can actually get those games out with bigger trailers and better information during E3. Um, they they did. I think one of the leaks that came out was that Nintendo was going to focus more on Smash Brothers for this direct and for E3, and they did just that. Which I think for a lot of people, that's a huge pro. That's something that everybody, not everybody, but that's something a lot of people wanted. And for those people, I think they hit it. Like they did it well. But in the process, they kind of alienated a bunch of their other fans. So, I know that the next Nintendo Direct is probably going to be just around the corner. So I have to reiterate that because I know that there's a lot of angsty, there's a lot of angst out there. A lot of maybe a little bit of resentment too. But I think the lesson here is that it's easy to go into an E3 or any direct or any kind of announcement that we know is coming. It's easy to go into any one of those and say, "Oh, my favorite game's going to be there. I can't wait to hear about it." But it may not be there. I mean, no matter how many leaks or rumors that you hear about, Nintendo doesn't have to announce anything. So, I think my worst fear was that we get to see an Animal Crossing logo come up on screen from E3, and then all of a sudden it's preceded by the Amiibo Festival 2 logo. And that's my worst fear. I don't think it's going to happen, but hey, you never know. I mean, Nintendo could do it. If they wanted to, they could flush their money down the toilet, and they could shut down their whole company tomorrow, and we have no say in it. So I think that they're listening to the fans. I think they're ready. I think that there is an Animal Crossing in the works. I don't have any proof, but I would much rather them wait and show off the game when it's near completion rather than being like, hey, we're working on Animal Crossing. It'll be out in 2021. If they show off a game now that releases 2021, I think people would be upset. So I think there'd be some relief there to say, oh, they're working on it. That's awesome. But there'd still be some like, why'd you show it off now? It's coming out in 3 years or 4 years at that point. 3 years. But it's kind of that mentality that Blizzard does with, I think, games like Diablo, when they showed off the trailer for that game like 5 years before it was ready, and then people were upset. So I guess the question is, and you guys can answer this in the comments if you'd like, is it better to release a trailer when the game's nowhere near completion, or release or wait and be silent about the game and release a trailer when it's closer to being done? I don't know. I if I had to say anything, I would say that I'd rather know that the game is going to come out soon and just enjoy what I've got now. But I think the opinions might vary on that. So definitely post that in the comments. That's the question of the day. Would you have rather had an Animal Crossing trailer now if the game didn't come out for 4 years, as opposed to having a trailer, a year and a half from now, and the game comes out by the end of that year? So I guess that is it's going to spark some interest, I think. But anything else that you thought about Nintendo's presentation, definitely put it in the comments. I thought overall I was actually kind of impressed with the amount of Smash information that they showed, and the fact they had a playable build of the game on stage as well. I liked I liked Splatoon. The Octo expansion surprise was awesome. I have a live reaction up on my channel for that because I was actually really excited to see that, and I thought that was a pleasant surprise. Um, I thought Mario Party looked good. I probably won't get it. And really, the only game that I saw that I might get would be Smash. So I don't know. I think overall, I mean, I think Nintendo executed what they were supposed to do, what they knew they had to do, which was talk about Smash. So I didn't leave the Nintendo presentation feeling disappointed because I think for me there were a lot of like, oh my gosh moments, just knowing that Snake's back in the game, and just knowing that we're getting a new Smash this year, and just knowing it's a brand new game and that there's new characters and all kinds of new stuff and everybody's back. I was thrilled when that trailer came on, but I know it's not for everybody. So the disappointing factors is that they didn't talk about anything new, and I think that is a disappointment. That is definitely a major disappointment or a major bummer if you're out there and you're thinking, man, I wish that they had just something, just anything. You know, anything would have been great, but they kind of missed the boat on that, and that is unfortunate. But either way, I don't have anything else to add to the Nintendo E3 wrap up, but they did talk about a lot of games. But just know that we are going to get more directs in the future. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you do have any opinions, good, bad, or indifferent, or even ugly, we'll take all the opinions we can get. Post them in the comments. I'm going to try to do some more videos just like this one, talking about the other big players in the game, Microsoft, Sony, and maybe Ubisoft as well. But I'm going to go ahead and leave it at that for now. Hit that like button, subscribe, and comment down below. Until next time, folks, I will catch you on the Flippity Flip.